Hello everyone. So like I mentioned in my last video, we are going to start our journey with the cloud computing, especially within the data and analytics space. So like I mentioned in the previous video that we have the major provider in the market, Azure, AWS, and Google Cloud Platform, which are providing the capabilities of managing small, big, and medium data sets in all kind of format. We'll start our journey with Azure, and we're gonna go through step by step how you can set up your own Azure environment and how can you utilize the best infrastructure that these cloud providers has provided you, and you can build your own environment based on this great architecture or the services that these big providers have already created for you. So by saying it, let's start our journey with Azure. I give you a tip that fortunately, all three big cloud providers like Azure, AWS, and GCP, they are following similar pattern. The only difference, obviously, some services are going to be different. But once you start looking into the conceptual perspective, most of the concepts are similar across these providers because obviously each provider is providing you the compute capabilities through virtual machine. It's not like you're gonna get Azure virtual machine and then in AWS you don't have the virtual machine. You have completely different concepts. So concepts are similar, right? The terms are going to be different. Like in Azure we have the virtual machine. In AWS we have the EC2 instance, and obviously in Google we have a similar term. Similarly, from the database perspective, because our journey is more related to the database and data warehousing perspective or the analytics side. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna actually start with the simple compute power, then we start building our analytical capabilities on those compute and storage powers, and we'll see how cloud can really speed up our work and turning our organization into data driven organization. Now by saying it, let's start from step 0, which literally go and get the subscription with the Azure. Now, if you don't have big bucks like in your pocket, I have a great news for you. All these cloud providers, they are providing the free services for some time for you to learn and understand. And once you are capable and you identify, yeah, there's something I can implement into my organization or I can use it from the cloud perspective, then you can go and you can upgrade your subscription to pay as go, because pay as go means whatever you use, you only need to pay for it. Now, that's such a big difference between the on-premises and cloud. Like in cloud, you only pay for your services. Like if you are using a services 2 hours a day, you are only going to pay for 2 hours a day, right? So rest of the 22 hours, that is Microsoft job. They need to actually maintain it and provide it to the other customer. So your window is only 12 for some service. If you are using for 12 hours, that's your window. So you are only paying for 12 hours, which is really great, especially in terms of saving cost and maintaining budget, which is always a big challenge in the IT environment. So by saying it, what we're gonna do, we're gonna actually start with the free service, and once we understand all the concept, then we'll see if we can utilize the pay as go, because with pay as go, keep in mind it's gonna charge you with all the services you're gonna utilize under the pay as go. You're gonna get the bill at the end of the month, which states to you that okay, you have used service A, service B, service C, and these are the charges. That the amount that of time that how much you have used during the month, and that's the cost, and you can calculate it by yourself. Another advantage, and not advantage as well as caution, please make sure you are familiar with the cost calculator or pricing calculator once you set up or spin up a service. One thing I tell you, in the cloud environment, you can call it a disadvantage, but it's not actually a disadvantage. It's more like how the cloud model works. Within the cloud environment, everything is charged by everything is chargeable. Like you can beside those free services which are always going to be free, with every other action that you're going to perform, that's going to cost you. So make sure you utilize your budget and cost carefully, because I've seen in the past that people are wasting big bucks by just spinning something and then forgot to turn them off, because they decide, okay, we are not, that's not going to work for us, so they literally leave it as it is, and it keep costing them for next 6 8 months, and at the end, trust me, they paid close to 40 grand or 50 grand for nothing. Now imagine how careful we have to be in terms of putting a framework that can keep an audit for our services, so we can assure that, yeah, all our services are monitored and fully auditable. And there should be a process. Tell you the truth, there should be a process that reminds, or that accountable people, that they have to go back and they need to check whether the service is still in use, or they can terminate the service, and why the service is not used as it should be. So all these kind of things. So that's another. It's not related to technology, but it's gonna be say big bucks to you. And obviously, once you save that money, you can re-put it into other features. So that's another gain or another tip. With cloud, big powers come with big responsibilities. You're going to have all these powers. You can build any kind of architecture, and you can handle any kind of data set, and even you can go and you can build up the servers that can handle petabyte of data or zettabyte of data. But keep in mind that's going to cost you a big fortune. Obviously, these professional services are not free. Microsoft is gonna spin up the infrastructure for you, so they're gonna charge you, and they're not gonna warn you, because with the pay as go agreement, Microsoft assumed that you are already aware what you are doing. It's not like they need to inform you at every time. Oh, you are consuming such a big server. Are you sure? The only thing they're gonna show you that that's the cost you're gonna get, right? And then as soon as you agree, you spin up the service, the clock gonna start ticking, and it's gonna actually calculate the money for Microsoft. Now, by saying it, hopefully these things will be clear. We're gonna jump and we're gonna actually create our free subscription account that will provide us 200 US dollar free credit, so we can use it to build the services, and we can use these services for all our data and analytics work after 1 month. And that credit is only going to be valid for 1 month, and after one month, Microsoft obviously asks you whether you're going to turn your service into the pay as go, which is normally the upgrading your subscription, or you're gonna continue with the free subscription, which obviously lock out all the available advantages that you have in that month, right? And after some time, Microsoft is gonna actually remove all your work that you have developed on that subscription account. So keep in mind, if you decided not to proceed after 1 month with your account, make sure you take a backup of all the work that you have done within that subscription account, so you won't lose your work, right? Because it's pretty common, like sometimes we are using this service and we didn't make our mind that, okay, we are not ready yet, and then after 1 or 2 months we decided, okay, yeah, that's good, let's proceed with this subscription. But then maybe by that time Microsoft already cleaned all the free service account, because people didn't make their mind to proceed. So keep in mind, whenever you do something, make sure you have a backup, because you can later on use that backup. And sometime, within the organization, we decided, okay, and there's a debate, for example, in the organization, let's go and build the capabilities within the cloud environment. And keep in mind, I tell you, especially within the current business environment, uh, it's always better to have a risk analysis and evaluation before you invest, big buck. It's the biggest mistake of your life if straight away, by hearing media buzzwords, or by hearing people, oh, that thing is really good, and you just look at a couple of websites, listen a couple of videos, and without analyzing the ground fact, you decided, okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna build that capability within my business or organization. And especially being on the senior position, we have to be very careful with these action, because that sometimes cost us a lot and damage our repute, and obviously hit our trust on within the business as well. So always the best way to start is with the small environment, or POC, which is called proof of concept. So build something which is small scale, see whether it's going to work, get the business in confidence, show it to them, get their opinion. If they feel, yeah, that's something we are looking, yeah, that is helping us to improve our process, then as a next step, you're going to actually start building that capability in the proper environment. Once that capability has been built, which is the dev part, then you take this next step and you build a similar capability in the staging environment, where you actually hand it over to the business for the staging and user acceptance testing activity. And once business find it useful, yeah, it is working for us and we are pretty happy with the service that you have built for us, thank you very much, can you productionize it? Then we go and we do release, and we start productionizing it, or we are putting a real capability within the business, because then we have the back from the business already approve it. We're going to set up the similar environment, but obviously from the production perspective, and that's where the whole security, compliance, and all these factor comes into the picture, that make sure that whatever we are putting within the cloud are aligned with the company policies. There is no risk with the data, there is no risk with the security, there is no information leak that can happen. So, all these activity and whatever assets we are actually setting up, they are fully secured, only the authorized people have access. So all these things, that is obviously part of the productionization. So that's the whole life cycle of any I would say successful cloud based development. If you go straight into the production or into the development, you might create a risk for failure for yourself. So that's my advice. Take it or leave it, it's up to you. But I got this advice after years and years of experience working in the cloud environment. Now, by saying it, let's complete this video from here, and in the next video we're going to start setting up the free subscription within the Azure environment. So stay tuned, and we're going to start doing the free subscription.